All right, I think we're live, man.
We are
Welcome,
live.
dude.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks
having
for
me on, man.
yeah, thanks for joining. It's been a minute since we've chatted.
Yeah, it has. It has. How you been, buddy?
I've been busy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
March March was a good month. March was probably the busiest month for me and the business that I've had.
March Madness.
Dude, March Madness too, man. It's been nuts.
March Madness 2.0.
Jesus, but it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
How are
man.
you doing? How are things on
I'm
your
doing,
end?
I'm doing good. So it's funny because March is also has been one of my craziest months. It's close to being ever. I think it's like second most ever. So
Jeez.
yeah, I'm having similar craziness with my store.
All right, so how do you want to kick this off? Because I have like a whole laundry list of things that like I want to talk about. Like so okay, why don't you tell me? I know you had a couple of drops this month. Well, let's start there. Because I had a I had kind of like two drops as well. Why don't we start with our drops? Go for it. Take it away.
Sure. So my last drop was this past weekend, and it was by far the biggest one I've ever. And one single drop, it was the most I ever did. It was
Yeah.
something in the neighborhood of, gosh, like 18, 19,000 in like
In
three
like
days.
one single drop.
In one single drop, yeah, yeah, yeah. It like over a 3 day period, it was like, yeah, 18, 19,000, or something like that in sale. By far the most ever. And I got so many orders. I'm actually still working through them. So
Bro, you're
like,
still
luckily,
packing?
yeah, luckily you can't see my office. It is a complete disaster. Like there are boxes everywhere. There's stuff open, stuff packed, open stuff everywhere. It's a complete mess. So I don't know. Like so I may need to come up with like a different strategy with these drops because
uh,
I'm doing them like once every couple weeks. I may need to do them like every week, but just
yeah, dude.
less because it's
Yeah.
taking me so long to pack orders.
Well,
You
and do
know,
you have like a shipping policy that you try and stick by?
yeah, I try to do next by next business day,
Yeah.
with these, big drops, like I've not been able to get it packed in time. Um,
What
so
does
luckily my customers are pretty patient. Like they just,
yeah.
you know,
You haven't
uh,
had anyone be like, dude, why haven't you shipped out yet? Where's my tracking order?
yeah, a couple people have reached out and said, hey, just checking out my package, and then I always reply to them like, hey, still working my way through
Still,
the orders.
I'll get to it when I get to it. In
I
a nice
promise
way.
you, I will get to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And usually everyone's pretty cool. Like they understand.
So what is your shipping like setup now? Like,
Mhm.
because there have been times where I've shared where I'll get, typically, another English drop of mine, or just really busy day. And it's like there are so many packages that I'm trying to stuff in my car and multiple
Yeah.
trips that I'm having to take out to my car, to get
Mhm.
into UPS or FedEx or wherever the heck I'm, shipping to.
Yeah.
I know that you are doing a lot more on certain drops of yours than I have. How do you
Yeah.
manage it?
So yeah, finally, like I was doing what you just described. I'd pack up the car, and then I would just do like a couple trips or whatever I had to do to UPS. Well, recently I've started doing pickups. So pickups are actually free. You can do pickups with both the post office and UPS. You just have
Oh
to do it.
wow.
You just have to schedule it the day
Yeah.
before. So that's
Interesting.
what I've been doing. It's way easier. They pick them up right from your doorstep. And I work remotely, so I don't worry really about leaving packages out because I got the Ring
Right, you're
doorbell.
not,
And you can see.
leaving them out in the morning before you head off to work and just crossing your fingers that they make it to it. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dude, that's a
exactly.
cheat code. I need to be
I
doing that. What
know.
the heck?
I know. It's free. It's completely free. So that's what I've been doing lately, and it's helped like a ton. So now for the very first pickup I did, of course, the first one I did, I had like a gigantic stack of boxes for the guy to pick up. And
Yeah. Make
he
sure you
didn't
get
have
those.
he didn't have like a go lucky, face when he saw it, but
Yeah, that's fair.
but I don't know. I'll get my wife to make cookies or something.
Dude, I know.
the
Like,
next pickup.
well, so there's another business that I follow, Granddad's Cards, and he'll post on his story. And I know specifically when we had that freak storm back in January, because it had messed up my Nile Zero orders.
Yeah.
I know it messed up his. I know it messed up everyone's.
Yeah.
He posted on his story that he drove to FedEx himself, dropped off like Chick-fil-A gift cards, and his FedEx order was there the next day.
You're kidding me.
No.
Oh, wow. That is cool. It's smart, though.
Dude, I know. So, like, Chick-fil-A cookies, like,
Yeah.
there's a rhyme and reason to it. But that's cool, man.
The thought goes a long way. Yeah.
I'm glad that things are going well.
Yeah.
What's been the product that has been the most popular? I bet I can guess, but I'm curious.
Yeah, by far, Ascended Heroes. I mean, Ascended Heroes is really, in my opinion, it's a 9 out of 10 set.
Yeah.
I think it's up there with Destined Rivals and Prismatic, and it's up there with them. I really think it's one of the best sets that we've seen in the last couple of years.
I mean, it's huge. It's the biggest English set we've ever had.
It is the biggest. Yeah, it is the biggest, and it's a special set, which means it's hard to get.
There's no booster boxes.
Yeah, no booster boxes.
Have you seen any let up
on Ascended?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah.
No. I think, like I said, me and you talked about it many times. We had a feeling it was going to be Prismatic on steroids, and it really it seems to be that way. Yeah. I had something like 55 ETBs that I listed, and they all sold out in like half an hour.
Dude.
Like they all sold out like so fast. 55 ETBs. And I had like hundreds of other products too for Ascended, and they all sold out within an hour. So it's really Ascended Heroes has really been like ahead above the rest for sure.
Now, do you have any perfect order? And have you sold any perfect order?
So I do have a few booster boxes of perfect order, and I did sell a couple of them.
Okay.
But it's funny because what I have them listed at is less than what other stores have them listed. So I've seen some other stores that are starting to sort of fire sell.
Yeah.
Perfect order. Like they're selling them for nearly MSRP, which is kind of unheard of in this market.
It's probably been what, 2 years now? No, not 2 years, but a year and a half at least.
A year and a half, yeah, before we've seen really anything close to MSRP. Yeah.
Now, why are you selling for less?
I'm not selling for less, but other stores are. So I'm selling booster boxes for like 210.
Oh yeah.
Some other stores are selling it for less. Like 210's like a little bit below market.
Yeah.
I just think that's interesting. Like it's near MSRP and it's a booster box. And it's not just one or two stores. I've seen multiple stores now that are trying to sell it.
It's weird because I don't know if you've been on the Pokemon YouTube side of things, but like you have so many hot takes right now with Perfect Order. Because it dropped to like 195-ish on release day, the morning of. And then it kind of rebounded up to 210-ish. And what is it? Probably like 205 to 210 right now. Market at least. It's a weird set, man. Like, there's some people who make it seem like they've seen the boogeyman, when it comes to, getting that perfect order and trying to sell it. I don't know, man. Do you think it hits MSRP? Like market wise?
So what's interesting is I think
Taditeki, hello, by the way. Thanks for hanging out.
Oh, hey, what's up, buddy? In the last, I'd say, let's just go back 2 years. the worst sets that we've seen, in my opinion, are probably Journey Together and Perfect Order. Like, I think that's pretty fair, a
Okay.
pretty fair consensus
Yeah.
in the last 2 years or so, right?
Mhm.
Now there an argument could be made for Stellar Crown. That was a little bit, but I like Stellar Crown because of the Bulbasaur and the
Bulbasaur and the
Squirtle.
Squirtle carry.
Just carry, right?
They
I think that
carry.
makes it. I think that
Yeah.
makes it better. I did a poll on my Instagram. And I compared Perfect Order
Oh,
and
not a
Journey
poll.
together. Yeah, the poll was, which is better, Perfect Order or Journey Together? And Journey Together owned Perfect Order. Journey Together did. Like, it was
Man,
not
that's so
wasn't even
weird.
close. It was like 70-30. So people
That's so
don't like
weird.
Perfect Order. I think that's a fair sort of consensus. It just released, and usually after a new release, like the hit cards go for crazy amounts, right? I mean, hundreds
Yeah.
of dollars, right? But they're not doing
Top
that.
dog is
It
like
just released.
top dog is like 150 to 200.
Yeah, like 150, and I could see that falling even below 100. We'll see. But
Man. It's
I
weird.
think if there's a set that could go to MSRP, it's this. I think it's Perfect Order. Yeah.
It's weird because I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Perfect Order. Scrolls, what's
Right.
up? Thanks for hanging out. Because I don't have distribution. I don't know, allocation numbers, whatever. But from those that are transparent about them, it's been pretty well voiced that Perfect Order booster boxes, at least. And I'm not talking about the sets. I'm not talking about per pack. I'm not talking about ETBs. I'm talking about booster boxes. Have been printed way less than anything in the past year and a half. And what we've been able to see from Pokemon and reprints and all that is that Pokemon is so dang behind that, like, Wave 1 is going to hit right now. Wave 1 is still there. Wave
Yeah.
2, from what I hear, is right around the corner as well, faster than other Wave 2s that we've seen with Mega Evolution and Phantasmal Flames.
Okay. Interesting.
Wave 2 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. We haven't had reprints of Destined Rivals, a much stronger set objectively, since it released back in May. May, dude,
Yeah,
almost June.
yeah,
Like, we're almost a year out from that because they've been
Yeah.
so focused on prismatic evolutions, and rightfully so. Prismatic is way more hype than anything that we've seen up until
Yeah.
Ascended Heroes, at least. So it's like, unless they get their dang printers online, like, we're
Mhm.
not going to see Perfect Order reprints for another year. And
Yeah.
now, I'm not saying that I'm a believer in the midterm, because that's when we get into reprints and prices and it being printed into the ground. But, like,
Mhm.
for the release and until we hit that window, like, these booster boxes are gonna settle and then go right back up. So, like, I easily could see booster boxes hitting 230 in 6-7 months, because I don't think we're going to see a reprint. Booster boxes are still king in terms of the collectible side of things, and I don't think Perfect Order is that bad. I think it's a B minus tier set. B minus. It's not trash. Like, it still has SIRs. It still has illustration rares with some really cool art. It's not a bad set. And so, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, like, any booster box, will go up over time. You take the worst set that you can think of, even for those sets, booster boxes will still go up in value over time. Now the question is, if you have a few $100s to put in a set to invest in, do you pick Perfect Order or do you pick another set?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you have a couple $100s to put into a set to rip, do you pick Perfect Order or another set? You know what I mean? I think for most people would not pick Perfect Order. I think they'd pick Prismatic Evolution, especially for investing. I don't think Pokemon's ever going to be able to print enough Prismatic for sure.
Oh no,
and
dude.
and we're less than a year away from that thing being out of print now. So I mean, when that happens, it's
Crazy.
gonna go bananas. Yeah. I mean, no matter what Pokemon seems to throw at Prismatic, it just keeps going up. Um, so yeah, I mean, you're right though. In like a year, maybe even 6 to 8 months, I could see booster boxes for Perfect Order going up to 225, plus. Like I could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah. And, I'm not saying to invest now.
Yeah.
I still think I still think it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
But that's the time to buy the dip.
That's the time. Yeah, that's the time to buy. Yeah.
Dude.
Especially if you're right with wave two, coming, soon after, if that happens, then because I don't think the product released in wave one is going to sell out before wave two hits if it comes reasonably soon. I don't
No,
think.
I don't think so either. Yeah, and that's where it's like, flooding the market.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to, think about on a release because that never happens anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting because Perfect Order. I think it's pretty reasonable to say it's not as strong of a set as some others that
Yeah,
we've seen.
100%.
And then Chaos Rising, which is the Ninja Spinner equivalent, and from Japanese. I also think that could be a bit of a weaker set. If I had to put a number out of 10 for Perfect Order, I would do like a 3.5 out of 10.
Wow.
For Ninja Spinner, I would probably do like a 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
so
think I
I
disagree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Based off of the numbers that I'm seeing with the Japanese boxes that I sell, Nile Zero for Perfect Order and Ninja Spinner for Chaos Rising. Yeah, there's weaker demand.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I released a reel yesterday because we kind of got some news about what the next chunk of Pokemon sets are going to be like after Chaos Rising.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. After
Mhm.
Chaos Rising, we have the Darkrai set. We don't know what's going
Mhm.
to be in it, but Mega Darkrai. I could see that being that one's a 50-50 toss up for me. Whether it's another small weak set, or it has some bangers in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Mega Darkrai's hideous design. I think it's terrible, but
Yeah. It's
I don't
it's
know.
going to depend on what they pair alongside it,
Yeah.
for sure. But
And then
yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten even 2 week sets in a row,
no.
right? I mean, I can't remember the last time we got 2 week sets in a row. Maybe back the Temporal Forces days, right? Early Scarlet and Violet. Um, but it's not happened for a long time, so it's gonna be interesting to see what the market does, especially if the Darkrai set is comes right after Ninja, Chaos Rising.
Yeah.
um it's going to be interesting because then we'll have potentially right 3
3.
weaker sets in a row.
Yep. But following that, we'll have Mega Rayquaza and then 30th
Right,
anniversary.
then all bets are off, right? All
Yeah.
bets are off.
2026, man. It's a weird year.
Yeah, but stores, something to keep in mind, stores right now are basically they don't have anything to sell. So they're even with Perfect Order, even with Chaos Rising, and eventually the Darkrai set. Stores are still going to buy as much of it as they can. Thinking, hey, the market's just crazy. I'll be able to just sell anything that has Pokemon on it. So
Right.
we could be entering into like a bit of a weird time for stores that aren't careful. Like if they order too much of Perfect Order and these
Chaos
these
Rising.
sets that are coming down the pipe, they have the potential. This is the first time where stores actually have the potential to lose money if they're not careful. If they order too much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Tatted Techie says, if that Rayquaza leak is real, the market is going to go nuts.
Oh God, I saw that leak. By the way, I agree. If that leak is true, and the leaks have really, for the most part, been spot on, right?
Unfortunately, they have been spot on, man.
They
I
have
don't
been
know
spot
who
on,
is
man.
how many thieves are in these factories, but like
I
they
know.
have been getting their grubby little hands on these cards, and they've been real.
And they've been real, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think the Rayquaza. I mean, that could just blow the roof off, right? I mean, I think I think Phantasmal Flames had potential to be the best set in the Mega Block, at least so far. If it weren't so small and just
Yeah,
the
the
Mega
Charizard.
Charizard and that's it.
Yeah.
And then Ascended Heroes obviously is
Yeah.
going to be one of the best in the block, but that Rayquaza set too, that's got potential. So especially if they pair some cards alongside it.
It's gonna be weird, man. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll have to wait and see. Now,
Yeah.
tell what else? So business seems like it's going well.
Yeah.
English drops are bread and butter. Those seem to be going well. What else?
So one of my problems right now with packing especially is Pokemon has a bunch of products that all have different dimensions, right? It seems like every product is a different size, which makes it challenging to pack, especially when customers buy like this and then another product and then another. It's hard to find a box that fits everything.
Yeah, I'll buy one ETB and then the biggest premium collection box you can find.
Exactly. So really what it comes down to is you need a lot of different size boxes in bulk.
Yeah.
And to do that, you have to have space. So funny, I am moving. And one of the requirements for the house that we looked at is I needed space to put a lot of put all my Pokemon product, but also a space where I can start expanding my the boxes that I have.
Your box kingdom.
My box kingdom, right? So I could streamline shipping a little better. So that's going to come down the pipe in the next. We're going to be permanently there in June or so. It's a gigantic 40 by 40 pole barn. It's pretty epic.
Dude, what you need to do, you need to make some content out of that, man. Like you need to like episode 1 building a Pokemon empire from my barn. And then it's like a a time lapse of episode 1, episode 2, and make a playlist. Dude, that would kill.
Yeah, it would.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. Well, something interesting. There are a lot of content creators that have actually stopped.
Yeah.
Like, especially if they're at where they live, like they've stopped posting, videos that have like Pokemon products in it because of the recent thefts that have happened. Yeah. Isn't that crazy that we've reached a time where people are breaking into houses and stores that for Pokemon cards? Like, isn't that just nuts?
Yeah. No, and that's like, like if you're a business, or at least you plan on doing business, or you put your face out there, or whatever the heck it may be, you need to make sure that your address is not available. Because like I remember a couple times when I was doing Whatnot, like I would realize that it would have my home address, on the shipping boxes, and long term, it's like you don't want that, because you never know. Especially as you get bigger, especially as you post content, people know who you are. It's weird because like I'll have people reach out like, hey man, I live in Austin too. Do you want to meet up? Like instead of shipping, we can just meet up. And typically I say no because
you never know.
You just never know. So especially when you're coming at it from like, oh, this is my Zippy's Card Corner Instagram, account. Like who I am. Versus like like Facebook Marketplace, like no one knows me, Logan, the person behind the business. But it's interesting times that we're having to think about that.
And Pokemon cards are so liquid now. You list something 15% below market on marketplace or something. You know what I mean? And it'll just sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you're doing a video, you don't want to show like a pile of, gold, or something like that. Or a
Right.
big
Yeah.
pile of, thousands of dollars cash. It's almost like that.
Right. And then dox yourself by accidentally showing your street or,
Right.
the outside of your house or whatever it may be.
Right. Exactly. So, and it doesn't take that much space to get into easily the tens of thousands of dollars for Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I know.
And
Exactly.
then it's just that crazy. You get a couple cases of booster boxes, a few cases of ETBs. I mean, you're already into the
Several
thousands of
thousands.
dollars
Yeah.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, dude. So now talk to me. So I know you're moving, so I'm going to give you a little bit of grace. How's the content going?
The content sucks. And I'm really bothered by it. I really want to create
Are you
content.
bothered by it?
I am bothered by it, man. I really I like creating content. I love, engaging with my customers and stuff. But yeah, I just haven't had time, man.
So
But
tell me.
I'm going to get back. Going to go back and get back into a routine though, for sure.
So, it begs the question because, you've had a really positive, successful month
Yeah.
without making a whole lot of content, and, you and I have talked offline
Yeah.
and like your customer base is very loyal, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
does it like, and I kind of want to liken it to kind of the conversation that we've also had about live streaming and live selling, where I'm finding success from it, but is it where I want to put all this time and effort into? In terms of priority, I could almost ask the same thing with content. Like, you're seeing success. Is there a part of you that's like, well, I don't need to make all this content because I have this awesome customer base already. Yeah, just curious.
So yeah, I think I built up that customer base from making content. I think that ultimately that's where the customer base came from. And if I want to continue growing that customer base, I need to just keep making content. So it's great that, the way I look at it is it's great that I have a good base of, loyal customers that are coming back. I appreciate them to death, by the way.
Yeah.
But I want to keep growing though. I don't want to stagnate here. I want to keep growing. And you and I have talked about this many times. If you want to grow as a store, there's really only one way to do that, and that's to create content. One, proven way to do that. That's creating content.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, that's good. But yeah, no, it's a good question.
Now, Tatted Techie also had a question in the chat. Says, I have a random seller question. I've been wanting to diversify and get into modern sealed to sell. Do you think the market is too saturated right now? And how could I protect my business from chargebacks? Do you have an idea? Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so really modern, in my opinion, is better to invest in than anything else right now. I mean, like, you put some money in Destin Rivals, you put some money in Prismatic Evolutions, you're not really going to be able to go wrong.
And when you say invest, do you mean sell? Because this is a question to sell. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to, buying and then immediately selling, you're going to want to buy it collections. Obviously, you're going to want to buy it at a certain percentage off, like 80% or whatever you choose.
Right.
But then, yeah, I mean, even if you have to hold it for a couple months, I don't think you're really going to be able to go wrong there. I think, especially for the big hitters, Destin Rivals, Prismatic, etc.
I think my answer would be modern is so hot right now. Modern is the thing that the pie is so big that there's no way for it to be saturated. Now we get into this topic of visibility and exposure for your business. I don't know if you're a random seller on eBay and you have feedback, or if you're trying to start a business. You said diversify, so maybe not as much. Maybe you do have, some exposure for yourself, but like if you have, some people who know that you sell, and you have modern, man, like I think that's the best thing that you can sell.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
vintage, it's like there's so many new people in the hobby that only know about modern. Vintage is seen as this,
Yeah.
it makes me sound old, but vintage is seen as vintage. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that was way back in the day. I don't care about that. You know,
Yeah.
and it almost seems like the really hot stuff for vintage is almost just like out of this world. Like it's not even touchable. Like, you're not going to buy a base set Charizard, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but like, eh, and so my point is like, there's a lot of just average modern out there that is still so desirable and hot.
Yeah.
I'm just selling singles on eBay for now, but would love to create a Shopify store and sell sealed product. Yeah. No, yeah. I think,
Absolutely do that. Yeah.
I think modern sealed is the way to go, like, yeah, that would be my thought process. Do you have, Alex, do you have thoughts on how to protect the business from chargebacks?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So if really you want to protect yourself from chargebacks from giant orders that are going to harm you as a store, because from my experience, and I've done like I don't know nearly 1,300 unique orders for for my website. And the orders that looked fishy, I could see a mile away. Like there were orders to like airports, and they were like these gigantic, $1,500, $2,000 orders from first time customers. They've never bought from me before. They're really obvious. That's first, and second, if there's any suspicion, what I've done, like if a first time customer comes in and just tries to buy a bunch of stuff, I'll cancel it, and then I'll send them a nice email, saying like, "Hey, happy to help you if you use PayPal goods and services." Okay,
Yeah.
so the good thing about PayPal goods and services is that it offers buyer and seller protection. So if the buyer pulls any shenanigans, like tries to do a chargeback or whatever, as long as you did your due diligence, right? Um, you have a valid tracking ID, and it shows that it was actually delivered to the address that the buyer bought from. You're good. You're protected. That's
And
what I would say.
yeah, and I 100% agree. And like my store, when you check out, you're putting your phone number. And so I've given people
Okay.
calls, if it's over $500 in a single order and they've never bought from me, I'm just gonna, give them a ring, see, oh, I saw this is a big order. Can you verify, this info, then this info, this info? And that's worked out well. I also know that Shopify has like this Shopify protection thing. I don't know what the filters are for it, but I noticed that for at least half of my orders, Shopify Protect will be in place so that if I fulfill the order by a certain date, Shopify will protect me from chargebacks. Um, Again, it's not for every order,
Yeah.
but for orders that do not fall into that, that's where you can, implement, the strategies that, Alex and I just shared.
Yeah. Good question though.
Yeah. So I I want to share about my month. It's been busy, dude. And I've kind of given you some thoughts, and or I've given you sort of some updates.
Hmm.
And I'm curious like what your thoughts on what I've done are, right? So like Corsby, what's up, dude?
Hey,
Corsby's in
Corey,
the
dude,
chat.
what's up, buddy?
So I started a Discord server.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've gotten, 10, 15 people in it now. I just sort of a theme for what I'm about to share is just avenues,
Mhm.
more and more avenues for everything. So Discord, I think of it as a more casual place where I can give announcements, I can give updates on the shop. Um, if people have questions about something and they don't want to deal with email or they don't want to, DM me on Instagram because I'll lose those. Like
Mhm.
Discord can be a place where they can go and ask other people, you know. Um, and so that's been something that I'm playing around with. Like every time I post a YouTube video, an announcement goes out on the Discord, letting everyone know that this video is live. You know, and that way, like the people who join the Discord, they know exactly what they're signing up for. Versus on Instagram, you know, if I post a pretty shill, you know, story, you know, where it's like, hey, here's a product that I'm selling, you know, go click on that link and go buy. Not everyone wants that, and we've talked about this. Versus Discord, it's like all my links are there. You know where my business is. I'll post business updates like every single day, you know, regards to something. So it's another avenue for people to kind of be in touch, and kind of know what's going on. So that's been something new that I've been interested in growing.
Interesting. How many people joined? Just curious so far. I know it just launched. I know you just did it.
I think, you know, including yourself, I think we have 15 people in.
Hey, that's cool. That's not bad.
So, and it's like I think of it
you
as
just did it. Okay.
Sorry?
And you just did it, right? You just created.
Yeah, I launched it on like Wednesday or something. No, Monday, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe yesterday. Yesterday, I think. And so, and it's a place like I have I have content, or no, sorry. I have collector channels. I have investor channels. I have content creation channels. I have business channels. So like anyone who has interacted with me and knows who I am, knows that I'm involved in all of those aspects. And so maybe they don't care about content creation, but they care about, you know, investing and collecting. So like there's channels for that. You know, in business, right? Like, you know, other people that are businesses follow me, and that's a place where they can go and ask questions to, you know, not just me, but other people that are in that business category. You know, and it's small right now, but like over time, like I could imagine that that's a pretty useful place.
Oh yeah. Well, in your content creation channel, if I were you, I would put how you went from, you know, 500 followers to, you know, more than 20,000 in like 6 months or something like that.
That's for the paying customers.
That's for the paying customers.
That's for the paying. I'm not giving that out for free. No way.
I'm not giving that out for free. Well, I mean, it's just cool how, like, you know, it would definitely be a cool intro to that channel, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
agree.
then the other one, and I really want to ask you about this. Another channel you have is about other TCGs.
Oh yeah.
So I know you just recently started selling Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
How has that been? What do you think of the cards? And do you think Yu-Gi-Oh is sort of back? I know they just came out with, you know, a new art style. Do you think they're back, or do you think it's kind of just temporary hype?
I don't know. So for context, Yu-Gi-Oh has sort of jumped on the bandwagon of full arts. They're called extended art rares. And they're basically full arts. So you have 2 new sets. One of them is for the heroes of Yu-Gi-Oh! One of them is for the rivals. And so in the heroes, you have, you know, the Dark Magician. You have Dark Magician Girl. You have elemental hero stuff, you know. And then in the rivals, you have Blue Eyes White Dragon, Cyber End Dragon, I think is what it's called. And then a couple other ones that I'm not familiar with. They also have serialized cards, which is very intriguing, as any TCG collector would be, you know, thinking. You know, there's 100 cards of the serialized cards in each set in the Japanese version. So that adds an extra layer of like specialty. Now, that's the context. I recognized that these came out, like the Rivals one with Blue Eyes White Dragon came out like literally like a week and a half ago. I saw that a lot of people were talking about it, pretty hyped. Yu-Gi-Oh's back. So I jumped in on it. 5 boxes of each set to start. I sold those out in like a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
Then I bought 10 boxes of each. and those have been moved a little bit slower, but I think I probably sold out of the 20 like 6 or 7.
Okay.
So those have been good. It's exciting to like offer more and
Yeah.
diversify, from the business perspective.
Diversifying for sure is good. Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh is the best. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Like I liked Yu-Gi-Oh growing up. That was the
Yeah.
game that I played.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's cool to see this. The longevity of it, I don't know. Like this is
Yeah.
kind of pulling out all the bells and whistles and trying to, do everything that they can to kind of get Yu-Gi-Oh is my TCG to play too. Yeah, exactly. I mean, for a second, Yu-Gi-Oh is super like it was very popular.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it definitely seems like they're pulling people back in with the nostalgia, right?
yeah,
Dark Magician Girl, Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's
and
just
they haven't.
my criticism comes in to where, okay, you're pulling people back in with the nostalgia, but how do you get people to stay? You can't just keep printing Dark Magicians and Blue Eyes White Dragons. I mean, you gotta.
Oh, Alex, you say that they're gonna try their danged hardest.
They're
uh,
better.
so these sets haven't come out in English. I don't actually know when they come out in English.
Yeah.
We already know the next Japanese set, and it's going to have full arts again. And they are more reprints of the similar characters that we just talked about.
Okay.
So I don't know. You can only do that for so long before it gets boring. So I don't know what the longevity of it is. I am not putting all my eggs in that basket, just like I did not for One Piece. I still offered on my shop. It moves slowly, but it's there for the occasional time that someone wants a box.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's typically, Yu-Gi-Oh's been a little bit different. Yu-Gi-Oh's about, I don't know. I don't know. It's not terribly expensive. So having a couple boxes on the shelf, for people that want to buy it whenever they're on the shop, is always appealing to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the longevity of it is. I'm gonna get out before it tanks.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Corsby says, I've sold a pretty good amount of Yu-Gi-Oh in the last few months. Serialization is the best for helping cards retain value. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing how Yu-Gi-Oh's done over the past few months before these new sets were revealed. Like I think Yu-Gi-Oh's like especially nostalgia Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I love that stuff. Like I don't give a crap about the modern stuff, but the old Yu-Gi-Oh stuff is always interesting to me.
Oh yeah.
And the serialization is like, oh man, they really went there.
Yeah.
So
you can tell they're pulling out all stops for sure to draw people back in.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll see. We'll see what what we'll revisit this in like 6 months after a couple more sets have come out. But yeah, man, Yu-Gi-Oh's been interesting.
Yeah. Now there's another TCG that's starting to kind of gain some popularity, and I think this one has real potential. That's Riftbound. So League of Legends, it's for those who don't know, it's the League of Legends trading card game. Now, League of Legends over a long period of time now. I think I don't know. It's been around for what 15 plus years, 15 maybe closer to
It's been around for a minute.
20
Yeah.
years, something like that. And there's so many champions now, and they keep coming out with new ones, and they keep coming out with new ones that are done well. You could definitely release sets that where there are cards of these champions but not these champions. You know what I mean? And you can. I think that set might have potential. That TCG might have potential.
Riftbound, yeah, 100%. I think Riftbound is, not saying it's going to be super. Like, I'm not saying it's going top 3, but
no, I don't think it'll go. Yeah. It's
I
not going to
think
overtake MTG or Pokemon or anything. Now, obviously there's One Piece that continues to remain popular, which I think is
it's
interesting.
been it's been kind of slowing down though. Like it's kind of settled down.
Okay.
Like I don't
Yeah,
hear about it as much.
yeah.
And so yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I agree. I think Ripbound is a good TCG to have on your radar.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, another thing that I want to talk to you about is kind of along the same themes with the Discord, where it's another avenue for people to interact with Zippy's Card Corner, the business.
Mhm.
I've started selling on eBay.
Okay.
I've put listings up on eBay with some slower moving Japanese Pokemon product, as well as One Piece, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
Before I give you my thought process, I want to hear what you're thinking right now, because we've
I
talked about it, kind of.
Yeah, I immediately have alerts going off in my brain. Don't do that. That's what
Yeah.
my sort of knee jerk reaction is. Don't do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I say that is because Japanese booster boxes are going like nuts. They
Yeah.
continue to go up in value. Like Glory of Team Rocket's like $150 a box.
Yeah. Jesus.
Prismatic,
Terrestrial Festival.
terrestrial
Yeah.
festivals like nearing like 130, 140 a box, I think, something
Yep.
like that
Okay.
for 10 packs. So they're going to continuously go up in value over
Mhm.
time, for sure, without a doubt. And eBay, eats so much into your profit that I don't know. I would just say my knee jerk reaction is don't do it. But I don't know. I'm interested to hear what your results have been, what your thoughts are.
All right. Yeah. So it's the long game. It would
Yeah.
the medium to long game. So
Mhm.
what I post on my store, what I direct people to is my store. And that
Mhm.
is all Pokemon. My audience is Pokemon, and I think it will always be Pokemon.
Yeah.
When I try and sell things like One Piece and Yu-Gi-Oh on my site, if you have someone who's really interested in those, they'll go ahead and buy. But like I don't have a core group, like a subset in my audience that is interested in that.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that I shouldn't, at least my thought process is doesn't mean that I shouldn't sell those. Um, the goal from day one has been to be a TCG business. Pokemon is the one that I'm passionate about. Pokemon, I think, is always going to be the most popular. My bread and butter, all that, all those vocabulary words. I think that there will come a point where it's like, I want to be a TCG store for everyone. And
Mhm.
that includes random TCGs. I struggle to sell that on my site. On eBay, when you post on eBay, it you don't have that brand recognition, right? And that's a big reason why we haven't been selling on eBay. We want to build up our trust and our brand on our business.
Yeah.
Um, however, like the when someone goes on eBay, they know exactly what they're looking for, or maybe they don't, but they have an idea. Um, Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh, I know is popping off. I'm typing it in, and they scroll and they find my listing, and my listing is attractive and they want to buy, they'll buy. Even if they've never heard of Zippy's Card Corner before, even if they don't follow me on Instagram or whatever, I
Mhm.
will still make a conversion and I will, make that sale.
Mhm.
Now, that's the thought process for why I'm doing this. However, I recently, you know, grew some confidence and applied to distribution. We've had this talk.
Yeah.
If I were to get distribution, I will not have access to Pokemon. I will need to buy other junk. Um, how I sell that, when the junk is Wise Schwartz or what is it, Cookie Run, right? Like
Yeah. If you
these are
run.
TCGs that I will not be able to sell on my store, not easily. And when I need distribution and I need to up my spend, I need to like churn and burn that. And it's going to be real hard if I'm completely relying on my business, on my Shopify site to churn and burn Cookie Run. Versus if I have an eBay store that has good feedback, that has a lot of sales on it, like I can put Cookie Run on there and eBay will understand, like they don't care that I have a Pokemon business that I run. They care that I'm a good seller on eBay and that I have a product that's competitive with everyone else. And so eventually, I'll put that product up and Cookie Run will sell. I think it would sell better on eBay than it would on my site. And like, I'm not going to flood my audience with like Cookie Run content because I need to get it moving. eBay, I can just have it there and it just sits. And because people want Cookie Run, I don't know who it is, but they want it. They'll go on to eBay and they'll find it there. And if my listing pops up, it looks attractive, they'll buy there. So eBay, along the lines of what I said earlier, is another avenue of selling non-Pokemon product. Corby, do you have a link to your eBay store? I do somewhere. I'll put it in the Discord. No, I'm just kidding. I'll put it in a second. But yeah, that's sort of my thought process. And
interesting.
It's slow, but there are sales that are being made. And like I would rather I don't put the hot selling stuff on there. I'm not putting Mega Dream or Ninja Spinner or Nile Zero on there. No, I'm putting the slower moving stuff that has been up there for months. Like
basically non-Pokemon, right?
Basically,
is that probably accurate. Okay, gotcha.
There's some older Pokemon stuff that's really priced really high. But if someone wants to buy it, they can.
Yeah.
And so taking the hit of the big fees, and making, a 5% profit as the transaction that's made to get my eBay store more feedback, better, viewability on eBay. Like that's what I'm paying for in the cut and profit. So yeah, man, I set that up this month, had a couple sales. It's interesting. Yeah. So busy month.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. I mean, that does seem like, a valid thought process, right? And so for those that are, to give people context, distributors right now, if they accept you as a new client, they're definitely not going to give you allocations for Pokemon. There's not enough to go around. And that's with pretty much any distributor. So in order to sort of get into the distributor's good graces, you have to buy like whatever they have available. And Cookie Run, other lesser known TCGs, things like that.
Because no one else is buying them.
Because no one else is buying them, right? So yeah, I mean, I do think though, if they're slow selling on eBay, then do you think you'll still sort of run into the same problem of like, okay, I'm buying these lesser known TCGs, they're just sitting on eBay, I don't know. Part of me feels like you should, whatever one they have available, Cookie Run or whatever other, TCG they have available. Like I still kind of think you should create an Instagram for that TCG and then create content for that TCG and then market that and sell it that way. It's still on your site, because if it's a lesser known TCG and you put it on eBay, I think it still will probably sit even on eBay. But it's just not now. I get your thinking process where eBay has a much bigger reach to a ton more people, and you're more likely for someone to buy a lesser known TCG because it more access to more people. I get that, but I also think because it's a lesser known TCG, then you have to market it. That much. Pokemon almost markets itself. Almost, right? Pretty much everyone knows Pokemon. But for a lesser known TCG, I do think like if you're gonna have success with selling it, I do think marketing it would probably be the and educating people about the TCG, things like that. Some of the content that we post, about content about Pokemon. I do think that would be probably a better route, but I don't know.
Alex,
I'm interested to hear about.
I don't have time for all the Pokemon stuff that I want to post.
I know. I know. It all comes back to time, though. You're right. You're definitely right, and I'm in that boat now.
And it doesn't mean that I'm not putting that product on my store. If it sells on my store, even better. I get even bigger of a profit margin. And there won't ever be a time where I'm exclusively selling on eBay anything. It will always go first on my store. eBay will just be the kind of fallback. And then on top of that, like right now, my idea is to sell, get the feedback up. There will come a time where, eventually we'll get distribution and we will get wholesale pricing. So like I can sell that I don't even have to sell it for market. Like I can sell it at a lower price than anyone else. And I guarantee there are people that want Cookie Run. There are people that are typing right now, I just need the latest Cookie Run. If I have the best price and I still make money, like that's churning and burning. And as long as I'm making a profit on it, that money's going right back into upping the spend for distro. That's the thought process. Not saying it's the right one, but having more avenues to sell product and get, the churn and burn, get the spend up is the name of the game with my thought process with that right now. Yeah. Corbby says, your account looks really good. Nice picks. I like the background color match of the box. I appreciate it. I was thinking about it. There's a rhyme and reason to it, man. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Because you're the eBay master. You would be the one to tell me like, oh yeah, this shit sucks. You gotta fix that. So I appreciate it.
But speaking of, we gotta do a call with Corsby sometime soon,
dude. Yeah,
I enjoyed those. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm down. Let's see. I had some other stuff that I wanted to chat about. I know we're almost at time. I had about an hour, so feel free to hop off whenever you want. I wanted to pick your brain about one other thing.
Sure.
I have been in the thought process of selling wholesale Japanese.
Okay.
So there are other businesses out there where they're they sell so much. And a lot of it has to do with selling B2B, business to business, rather than business to customer, like, we have been doing. B2B is a lot more volume. It's less profit. But it is another, again, avenue to sell things. And there's no way to sell wholesale English anything. Not for us.
Right.
There is a way for Japanese though, right? Japanese is basically unlimited. And so if there were businesses that didn't want to deal with the hassle of tariffs or the shipping or the language barrier with suppliers, or any of that stuff, and they're just like, I don't care, I'll pay a little bit extra, as long as there's enough meat on the bone for me, I'll buy from you because I know that it's coming from Texas rather than, Osaka, Japan.
Right.
I've seen people have success with it.
Okay.
And it would be sort of like it would almost be like how, we interact with Japanese suppliers where, it's not publicly available. You have to come talk to me. You have to fill out a form on the website that you're interested in it. And then when I see it and, things look good, I'll send you a spreadsheet with my prices. And I would require a resell certificate where, I'm not charging tax. So it would be for businesses that are buying in bulk of like 10 boxes or more. The only downside that I haven't quite figured out how other people do it, outside of just like the obvious, is like the upfront cost of having all those boxes available. If someone rings me up and is like, Logan, I need 80 boxes of Mega Dream right now. I don't have 80 boxes of Mega Dream.
Yeah.
And, like, because like, and it's like, I could easily imagine a pretty big business, wanting 100 boxes, and okay, let's imagine I have multiple customers. Mega Dream is super hot right now. All of a sudden, I have 4 orders that are 100 boxes each. I have 400 Mega Dream that I got to ship out. I don't know how to get that. Not quickly, because obviously I could be like, hey, Japanese supplier, mister, I need 400 boxes of Mega Dream, and it'll get here in like 2 days, and then I would ship it out. But like, if I'm working with businesses, they don't want to wait 6, 7, 8 days, for their order. They want their order shipped out today or the next business day. So that's what I'm kind of sort of playing around with in my head. Yeah, curious if you have thoughts.
So I guess
what?
I guess my sort of knee-jerk reaction to that is
another bad idea, Logan. Bad idea.
No, don't do it. So Japanese booster boxes typically come with like a 10 to 15% profit margin, usually. Yeah. And you can't do that for free, right? You can't sell wholesale for free. You still have to make a little bit of money, or it's not worth it, right? Yep. So you have to make money, but plus when you're selling in bulk, like shipping can get kind of nuts. I mean, how much does it cost to ship 100 booster boxes, halfway across the country?
Yeah.
So you have to make money.
We're not talking ground shipping either. We're talking like 2-day business.
So I guess I'm skeptical to got to make money. Plus, there's got to be enough left over for whoever's buying it to make money, since they're buying it wholesale, and shipping has to be covered. So if you know what I mean, so it's like, how much is left on the bone when from the very beginning there was only a 10 to 15% profit margin? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
unless you like, I mean, unless that person had no intention of selling them right away, maybe they're holding them, and then selling them as they go up in value. I mean, I don't know.
So I have the same thoughts as you, man.
Yeah.
People still do it. So like, there's another Pokemon business who's about as old as Brian, 5 years or so, and he has a YouTube channel that he just started called Retrospecs.
Okay.
He sells his business is wholesale Japanese, and he said that he did like 12 million last year.
Insane.
And I follow him on Instagram, and he'll post on his story every single day his prices, and like the prices are higher than what I buy them for, because obviously he has to make money, but like someone's buying this shit.
Yeah.
And it would almost be it would be almost very similar to Japanese, where like, I pay for the FedEx shipping, that gets here in 2 days, and like I pay for that. And so, I imagine, and like one thing that I tend to always forget, and I don't know how, is rip and shippers. Like, there are so many rip and shippers that are okay with, a 5% profit margin on their product, because, they're just churning through so much of it. And it wouldn't, and this wholesale program wouldn't replace, me prioritizing customers. But it would just be another avenue of churning and burning, and like, to make $100,000 with our typical 10%, you got to sell $1 million worth of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay. If we were to do a 5% with the volume, and you sell 5 million, well, there's another 100,000. I'm not saying that 5 million is easy. But like, I would also likely be selling more product per order than I do in an entire, maybe a week, if that.
Right. I mean, plus, like, if someone, needs 200 booster boxes, how long is it going to take you to pack all that and ship it? Yeah, or pack all that. And,
that is another.
And, I don't know. I mean, if people are buying it, then yeah. I mean, I think that definitely could be another avenue. I think that maybe these bigger businesses like the one you Retrospecs, is that what it?
Yeah.
Called? Maybe they're buying in such bulk from their person that they can get like they can get the cost per booster box down to a price that me and you can't even touch.
Right.
Maybe that's where they can kind of make up that margin.
That's a good point. Yeah.
They're probably buying,
thousands,
probably tens of thousands at a time. If they're doing 12 million, I mean, I could definitely see them, definitely thousands at a time.
Yeah.
So they're getting a price per booster box where they can do that.
Yeah.
Now, too, I mean, if you bought 100 booster boxes of Storm Emeralda that's coming out, or whatever, right? You bought so many of them that you're planning on selling at wholesale. You wait 6 months to actually start selling them. You'll make a lot of money that way, even wholesale.
Right.
But, I don't know. Because I get your thinking, like it's another avenue of making money. I just question the ROI, like the time that it takes into shipping, the amount of money that you actually make, and the risk, right? I mean, you're buying hundreds at a time. Because you have to. I mean, I guess you could fulfill an order from someone wanting to buy them at wholesale, and then buy them from the distributor to deliver at their house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you could do that. You could do, but it's just like I don't know. That would be clunky.
I know.
Prices are changing all the time.
And then like their shipping would be to them. So like they would still be dealing with international shipping.
Right.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't have it all. I don't have it all figured out, but it is something that I'm interested in. Like,
yeah,
because B2B, it's like, man, because I have a local guy that streams, and he's been focusing on some Korean lately, and so it's nice to have him, have a big order, every month or so. Imagine if there was like a lot of orders.
Yeah.
Again, profit margins are slim, but it would still be turning profit. And it wouldn't be the whole business. It would just be a part of it. I'll keep you updated.
Keep me updated. Well, so this is. I'll say this. I know we're coming up on time, but I'll say this. So Logan, in like, I don't know, I don't know how long it's been since 30-day challenge. From like May of 2025 to now, you went from basically zero to doing 25,000 in a month.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to tell you, Logan, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's okay to branch out a little. Some other TCGs like Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece and so on. But like, what I really want to tell you is like, dude, just hunker down on what you're doing, man. If anything, instead of one reel a day, do two. Instead of
Oh,
spending
I'm not doing that.
instead of spending time doing like bulk orders for wholesale, just
I'm so
make
tired of
another
doing it
reel a
for you,
day.
man. Like, okay, but wait. But Ken says something. He says, "This is how you grow your business, though. You got to take risks on new avenues and see which ones pan out. Like you both tried Whatnot. Maybe that works out and you crush it there. You don't know until you try it,
Right.
though."
That's true. Yeah.
Ken's on to something.
He's
Courtney Damon's
on
on to something. I mean, so yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I get where you're saying too, Kent. But I guess from my train of thought, like Logan, what we're doing, me and you both are
Right.
doing, is working.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to keep doing more of what's working. Until we stagnate, right, or something like that, then just keep doing what we're doing. That's part of what I want.
But yes, that's true. But there's also a part of me that's like, this is the easiest it will ever be, at least until the next bull run, which is in however many years.
Yeah, true.
Like when we hit bear run market, oh man, I think that's going to be a different beast altogether.
Oh yeah, it would just all be about keeping the lights on, probably.
And like having a foundation that is like wide and strong, without having a huge buildup, I think would give you or maybe another analogy is like your moat. Like
Right.
building your moat, large and wide, like, would better prepare you for the bear market. So like that's another part of my thinking. But going back to it, it's like our biggest issue is time. Always has been, likely always will. So like maybe I try it and it turns into another Whatnot thing where it's like, oh, this is too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, I still have people asking me, like, Logan, when's your next stream?
Yeah.
And I have to break their hearts because like it's just too much.
Yeah.
But I don't
do you
know,
think
man.
do you think, like, at least for the short term, you're pretty much done on Whatnot?
Whatnot was great. Whatnot was great for moving product.
Yeah.
And I know we're kind of at time. But like another thing that I was going to share was like how I kind of invested too much into some Japanese inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's prevented me from making some plays that otherwise I would make.
Yeah.
And Whatnot was really good for moving product. Like,
oh yeah, I agree.
I mean, hell, like there was a good amount of streams where I lost money, but like at the end of the day, that money was still going back into my account, and I could do, I could make more plays with it. Lost money, but like it was, I don't want to say better than, but like right now, like I have a lot tied up in Japanese Pokemon booster boxes, without a real easy way to move them. And Whatnot, it's like, my next week is kind of free, maybe kind of tempting. But that's kind of my thought process right now. It's a lot of time and a lot of effort, and until I get to a point where it's like, okay, I gotta move these, I gotta do something with them, and Instagram or Shopify or whatever, even eBay aren't working, like, then I might go over to Whatnot or something. I don't know, but not consistently. It would be kind of a when needed kind of thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good strategy.
I was like, that's the best idea I've heard all night.
No, and you're smart. It's not like you're gonna like put all the chips in the middle on a new thing, right? I mean, you're gonna be smart about it, and kind of dip your toe in more or less, and see if it works out. And if it doesn't, then you continue to pivot. Yeah, for sure. And I think like what Kent said, we tried whatnot, and ultimately, we gave it a really good shot, and then it just ultimately it didn't pan out.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to close the door on live selling, forever because
Yeah,
people make a ton of money on it, with
I
it.
know.
It just it boils down to time and where that time is being prioritized.
Right.
Like in an ideal world, like I make, so much money from my Shopify site that I can hire someone to stream a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And I pay them, but a little bit of that goes into, Zippy's Card Corner's bank account and, do more with it. And it's like, you know, that could be cool. Like
Yeah.
I'd be absolutely down for that. I just don't want to do it. Like,
Yeah. I don't know what.
yeah,
Cool,
but
man. Well, it's always cool talking with you, man. Definitely let me know. These couple things you're trying. Definitely keep me updated. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Next time.
yeah, man, thanks for hanging out. Congrats on a solid March month.
You too, man.
It- to last 2 minutes, what's next for you? What's on the
What's next?
horizon? Whether
So
it's next
what's
week, next
next
month.
is getting the move done.
Yeah.
Getting the move. We're going across, to a different state, so it's a bit of a, the house is
Bit of
like
a hike.
a
Oh,
disaster.
probably a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess. Yeah, yeah. So, getting that done and then getting, I'm gonna do a video, what the pole barn looks like and everything, and where,
Please.
I'll be doing the filming and stuff. And but once the move's done, once that's all settled, then getting back in a good routine, making content, I think is the immediate next goal for me. So, what
Cool,
about you,
man.
man?
Uh, Probably. I mean, April. April. There's no Japanese drop.
Yeah.
So a lot of experimenting, man. I'm
Yeah.
working on. I'm working on really understanding how meta ads work. And like understanding, like not just like clicking boost on a post that does well, but like figuring out, all the bells and whistles and levers that I can tweak to make a campaign do well. Um, so I'm dabbling back into ads and seeing what I can do with that. So got that going on. A couple of collections that I've been told might happen this month,
Okay.
which would be great because that would allow me to have another English drop. Um, but yeah, that's sort of the name of the game right now.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
I'll keep you
I'm
updated
super.
though.
Yeah, keep me updated. I'm super happy for you, man. I'm glad that your store is doing well and you're doing well. So,
Yeah, man, you too,
um,
dude. Thanks for
uh,
hanging out.
super happy for you. Yeah, no
All right,
problem,
man.
man.
Well, that's it. Thanks for everyone for hanging out. Kent, uh, Tatted Techie, Scrolls. I appreciate you guys for chatting. Um, go visit Poke Legends TCG. I'll link their Instagram in the chat. But with that, we're good to call it. See y'all. Thanks for hanging out.
See you guys.